Hey, welcome to the show. It's the Pricks. It's your prick. It's me, Johnny, and I'm here with my brother Tony, and we're the Pricks over here.
Tony Prick, that's my name. Eating pricks is my game.
Oh yeah, we're eating pricks all over the place. We're eating big pricks, little pricks, medium pricks, and we eat the pricks in order to increase our own prickishness. You know, you got a baby in a wheelchair, we'll push that shit in the ditch with the pricks, you know? We do prickish things.
I'm such a prick that I go out to the desert and I find those prickly cactuses that are endangered and I knock them over. That's how big of a prick I am.
Yeah, those prickly cactuses. That's well in keeping with your motif, Tony. You're a big prick. You knocked them endangered cacti over. One time I showed up at the airport late for picking up someone, and then I like farted a lot in front of them with the pricks. You know?
We
do that a lot.
I'm such a prick. I cast Timothy Chalamet to be a hot young Wonka in a new movie about Wonka. That's what.
Oh, prick, that's a real prick move. He's going to be a real prick in that movie. He's going to be as if you were the prickification of Wonka. We're the pricks.
Fuck a loompa-dee-doo. Fuck a little Chalamet.
He's going to fuck all the Oompa Loompas. He's going to colonize them, and he's going to fuck them. Oh, God. You know what they're going to do is they're going to wokeify the Oompa Loompas in the new movie, because they're the pricks. And the Oompa Loompas... Or there's no longer going to be Oompa Loompas in the movie. But that probably isn't a prickish move. Roald Dahl was a prick for making them little slave pygmies in the first book. He was a prick.
Roald Dahl is my prick idol. He's such a big prick.
Big prick. Gigantic fucking prick. All of his books are about, hurting children. Huge prick.
What a prick.
Some form of cosmic revenge. Some form of deep-seated Norwegian prick revenge. See, these Norwegian pricks. Can you think of any other Norwegian pricks?
There is Nausgard.
Big prick. Big prick. Yeah, he's the pricks. Yeah. Of course, we have Varg Vikernes, otherwise known as Burzum. Big prick. Killed a guy. Yeah. Set some churches on fire.
Such a prick.
Big prick. Big prick. We're the pricks doing expert prick commentary.
We can do a little prick commentary and combo Peterson watch, because Dr. Jordan Peterson came out against gay Fruit Loops this week.
Dr. P is back in the news with his incendiary remarks against the gayishness of Fruit Loops.
Well, Fruit Loops put out some kind of ad campaign about how they're, pro-equality and LGBT and everything. And
right, because they're a rainbow cereal. Right. It's like, well, we're already here, boys. Like Skittles are already gay, so you might as well. I'm sure Skittles have already put out an LGBT, taste the rainbow gay candy thing.
No, Skittles went reactionary and they removed all colors from their candy. It's just a gray thing now. Yeah.
That was actually true. Wasn't there some sort of marketing campaign where they took the colors away from Skittles, but it was to show that what's the world without a rainbow?
Right.
We need our queers just like we need our industrial food dye that keeps our Skittles going.
Well, now we got Kellogg gay ass butthole cereal for your gay ass.
Instead of Wheaties, we have Leather Daddies on the box now. That would be great. Famous Leather Daddies. We're going to have drag queens on the Wheaties in this gay world, and all of my kids will be thinking about Lady Bunny while they get their fiber. And they're going to be shitting and thinking about drag queens, and they'll be gay. Oh no, this world.
Yeah, the Fruit Loops are going to turn everyone gay. They're going to turn all our kids gay with their propaganda.
Are they filled with plastics?
Right. Yeah, that's what it's just. It's actually a chemical reaction that occurs in your brain when you're exposed to plastics.
Mm-hmm. Wait, isn't that a thing? I mean, that was there is some evidence to suggest that thing where Alex Jones says they're turning the frogs fucking gay. Mm-hmm. That actually is true, right? There is some evidence to suggest that chemical runoff results in frogs developing a predilection towards the fairer frog sex.
Listen, life is a computer simulation, so if you want to say something's true, be my guest. Sure, it's quote-unquote true.
I think aggressive Miss Piggies are turning the frogs gay, frankly.
Yeah.
Speaking of gay frogs, gay Kermits, Jordan Peterson. It all loops back around to Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. What does he have against the gay Fruit? So Fruit Loops did a quality campaign. What did he post against the gay Fruit Loop campaign?
Just that it exists. I mean, that's all he has to do. He is really active on Twitter. He was active all last night on Twitter, like retweeting people. And this man's got like 2 million followers. I do not know how he has the capacity to be this active on Twitter with 2 million followers. But he was like blowing the fuck out of like people who were trying to come at him. Like he was retweeting people and like insulting them. He called someone a noisome little wench, I believe.
That's great. What if he's just like part of his benzodiazepine psychosis is he thinks he's just in a D&D game constantly?
Yeah.
I cast magic missile on you, which is my use of words and reason. The only missile we have.
Well, someone was talking about how he's short, and he replied like every inch matters, and then he knew it was going to be taken as dick jokes, because then he started retweeting everyone who's making the dick jokes with like little smiley faces.
You have fallen into my trap. I have baited you. I understand from Jungian archetypes. I understood that this would be taken as a placeholder for the phallus.
Right.
Men retweet it because they want to apprehend the phallus, and women retweet it because of eternal penis envy. I have crafted the ultimate tweet.
He's insane. Like, let me see if I can find the tweet where he really yells at someone. I have it saved here. Oh, here we go. It is almost impossible to imagine that someone as noisome and ignorant as you exists, but this tweet proves it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Noisome. It's just such verbal ownage right there, you know? Mm-hmm. You've been taken down by 2 different adjectives.
And he started retweeting everyone who was talking about overpopulation of the planet with one word retweets that just say leave, like leave the planet. Where are we going to go?
Well, I actually agree with that. I don't care about, unless he's supporting, is he supporting like Elon Musk style, like we are going to colonize Mars? And there's going to be a lot of deaths at first, but we will make sure that they are poor people.
No, he's just saying he's saying that we're not anywhere close to carrying capacity, and we're not going to overpopulate the planet.
Oh yeah, but I agree with that. That's actually a good point by Dr. Peterson.
Yeah, he's been like semi-okay a little bit lately, but don't let that fool you. Don't let him rope you in.
I mean, I haven't heard any big Peterson hype. The thing is, like, a lot of the... I mean, while QAnon is big, like, since Trump got defeated, a lot of the alt-right feels like it's been scoured or, like, factionalized and, like, put into a lot of places. Or there's no, like, coherent alt-right anymore. There's no, like, movement that they're fomenting around. So I've even, like, heard that his new book is not as... Like, there's not as much reactionary shit in his new book as there was in his previous book.
Probably. I mean, I don't think he's really got that many groundbreaking ideas. So
no.
He just has to rehash stuff.
Yeah, it's been said a million times before, but he's the self-help guy, right? He's just doing the same Tony Robbins shit, you know, how to get ahead in business shit, how to win friends and influence people. It's all the same, which is basically just set goals, do things in moderation, you know, brush your teeth, pet a cat, you know, try and live in the present, form relationships with people.
Yeah.
You know, just basic good advice.
Yeah, basic advice, like play the Herbal Essences orgasm commercial at Abu Ghraib.
Exactly. Can we, you got that queued up? Can we hear a little bit of that?
Introducing Herbal Essences Fruit Fusions with an exhilarating new fruit fragrance and an exotic blend of organic fruit extracts for hair that's naturally beautiful.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
No. New Fruit Fusion.
The guy at the end.
Who's saying?
The guy at the end saying no,
Who's
no, no.
saying-
Yeah, that's an Iraqi prisoner at Abu Ghraib.
Yeah, because he has to hear that 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
That's terrible. That's Lindy England who's making the orgasming noises. No. Presumably in the commercial, the guy going, no, 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 is her husband who's getting cucked by some shampoo.
Exactly.
He can't live up to the sexual powers that the shampoo has.
Yeah. And also, it's like he hates the sound of hearing his wife have a good time.
Your joy brings me nothing but displeasure because you robbed me of my youth, Tabitha.
Yeah. Well, men use the same bar of soap for everything. You know, it's like, why can't women use one bar of soap to clean everything?
Yeah, when I wash my asshole, I immediately then use the same bar of soap to wash my hair. Call that an ass to hair, an ATH. And see the cleaned, the lied up residue.
Ass to face. Call that ATF.
ATF, right? Ass to face. When you take a shit and you smoke it in a blunt wrap, that's ass to lungs or the ATL, which is that's. That's what am I saying? I'm saying nothing. Let's all jerk off each other in an Ouroboros of eternity. I think that's what's really beautiful about homosexual relationships is that because you can really create an eternal train of people, whereas in heterosexual relationships, it just stops at one end.
Hey, liquor department.
Sorry, it just loaded.
What was that?
It's just more YouTube content loading, interrupting you. We're a very chaotic podcast now. Now that we have now that we have all of the sound effects, it's a morning zoo.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy, you're gonna win your prizes. You're gonna win your jimmies and your prizes.
We should take
call-ins.
call-ins.
So many things.
Can you call someone right now? Put them on. I guess we don't have a way to plug them into the board.
No, we can't plug them into the board, but I can inelegantly put my phone up to the microphone.
That's gonna
and it would sound terrible.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call April Margera and say, "Ma'am, we found Bam. Bam is dead."
Gonna prank call Bam's mom?
Yeah, and tell him that Bam died.
Bam?
Bam. No, that's actually very sad. Did you see that interview with Johnny Knoxville where he looks very cool for GQ and he's all pensive and he's telling sad stories about how we're really lost Bam to the drugs. He doesn't want to help himself. It's very sad, actually.
That's I wouldn't have spoken about my druggy friend on the live interview. What? They
didn't. It was subtle. It wasn't like that. They didn't ask an out-and-out question about Bam. But I think they asked, like, is anyone not appearing in this new Jackass?
Well, the dead guy, right? Dead guy.
Well, yeah, Ryan Dunn is not. Two dead guys, I think. Didn't the larger man die? Didn't Preston die?
Maybe. I don't know. It's surprising that my theory is that one of them actually died in a Jackass prank, and evil Johnny Knoxville covered it up and made it it seem like it was something else.
It wasn't Johnny Knoxville. It was the secret mastermind behind it, Spike Jonze. Yeah. It's just tiny little Spike Jonze being like, you want to fuck with the brand? You want to fuck with the brand? I'll fuck with you. I wrote Her, goddammit. I directed Where the Wild Things Are. It's James Gandolfini's greatest fucking performance. I'm Spike Jonze. You know why they call me that? I'll put a fucking spike through your cock. I dated fucking Karen O. I made her do the O face more times than a fucking bottle of fucking natural herbal essences shampoo. I'm fucking Spike Jonze and I got a spike fucking dick. I'll fucking fuck your mother. I'm Spike Jonze. So my character is evil Spike Jonze.
Yeah.
He's a big prick. Whoa.
What a prick.
Whoa, he's a prick.
Prick of the day.
What a prick. It's evil Spike Jonze. Spike type of prick.
Spike-oo. An anime avatar on Twitter liked me, and there was a Spike from Cowboy Bebop, and so I was like, it felt like I was getting liked by Spike from Cowboy Bebop on Twitter. It's really cool.
That's super cool. Yeah. Spike is hot and Jewish.
Is he?
I mean, his name is Spike Spiegel, so people have been like, he's a Jew, sure. In the same way that, I don't know.
How many Japanese Jews do you think there are?
I mean, like Japanese people who are from Japan and both have parents of Japanese origin, but they like converted to Judaism? Or like, are you talking about like half Japanese, half Jewish people? Because there's a lot of half Japanese, half Jewish people. That's
yeah, I bet. I bet there are.
I can think of at least one famous one who I like and who I'm not famous, but Twitter famous. Kenzo Shibata is half Japanese, half Jewish.
Yeah, no, that's cheating. I mean 2 Japanese people who've converted to Judaism.
Just who are like really like Orthodox, like, you know, Nissim Black. I think, have we mentioned Nissim Black on the show before?
I don't think so. Let me check the log.
Oh man, please look up a Nissim Black video right now. Oh my god.
Is it music?
Nissim Black is he's a black guy from Seattle, and he fell in love with Orthodox Judaism and converted and moved all of his family to Israel, and he dresses in traditional Orthodox Jewish garb with a large black hat and payas. Well, and his wife has her hair.
He has music videos, which I'm not going to play, but it looks like there's an ad where he's advocating that we donate to Israel. So I can play that.
These times he's very pro-Israel.
Devastating for many of us, suffering from a lack of work, a lack of food, and a lack of resources. Being put in a position where it's become the greatest struggle just to buy basic necessities and providing dinner for our loved ones.
Okay, well, he's just advocating we give pretzels to Israel, I believe, because they're
running out of pretzels. They don't have enough pretzels. Yeah.
Is that a Jewish food? Pretzel?
No, it's a German food.
Huh. So previously Jewish, maybe.
Yeah, maybe they appropriated it. I don't know. What are Jewish foods? Gefilte fish,
noodle
casserole,
soup, you weird noodle casserole,
really bad fucking brisket. Mm-hmm. I don't know, fucking know. But Nissim Black is, his music videos are entertaining. Oh yeah, he's a rapper as well.
That might have been more entertaining, but alas, the copyright issues of our unknown podcast strike again. Even though Cumtown can apparently play copyrighted music and be on Spotify all the time, so I don't know what's up with that.
I don't know. They have powers. They have political powers. Maybe there is maybe Cumtown, they like have a professional operation. They have a music clearance person who's doing a lot of work.
It's fucking Brendan James.
Yeah, Brendan James. You don't like Blowback. I like Blowback. You were listening to Blowback and telling me you didn't like Blowback.
Well, I sometimes like it, but I just listened to their first bonus episode that had an interview with a journalist who was in Iraq, and that guy said the word literally like 400 times in about 40 minutes. And
didn't like how much he said literally.
By the end of it was like, I'm going to assign everything I just heard into the bullshit category just because that guy said the word literally so many times. It's really bad. People don't say literally so much when you're speaking because it refers to written words. So why don't you quit saying it? Please.
There you
thank
go.
you.
It's improper. But that's what people do. They use improper things until you just force it into the system.
There must
be
order.
Nuclear is now an accepted spelling.
No.
There's no order. It's chaos, baby. You know, it's just you're always in a swirling void of words and language, and everybody's playing with it constantly. And dabbing in it and sticking their penises in it like so many Jason Biggses into cherry pies.
You keep your penis away from my language.
I'll keep my penis into your language pie, and then Eugene Levy will find us. And that's my favorite American food fucking movie. The other being Call Me By Your Name, which has a great food fucking sequence.
Oh, I like the one with famous actor with the butter. famous actor man.
Oh, the fucking actual rape scene in Last Tango in Paris.
Yeah, where the food fucks you in Paris.
No, that's bad. They raped that lady. That was an actual. She did not consent to that. That's
illegal.
Bertolucci is pretty cancelable as a result. I like a lot of Bertolucci movies, but I don't bemoan his cancellation.
Is he alive even?
I don't know. He died very recently.
Well, you can't cancel the dead.
You can That would be funny. It's like a zombie. You do zombies movies, and all the feckless millennials are trying to fight the zombies, and they keep tweeting at the zombies. And like, it's no work. Our tweeting is not doing anything.
They're not stopping. They're moving slowly toward us. And I tweeted that
can't. No, they're eating me, bro. You're being corn-cobbed right now. No. There's we would do everyone. You remember that brief period when everyone wanted a zombie apocalypse? Mm-hmm. Like when we were in high school, like the Zombie Guide to Survival came out, and like there was all this popular zombie literature, and at the crest of that, like the first season of The Walking Dead came out, and everyone was like, "Wah!"
Yep.
And like, so what was that? Was it just like George W. Bush? Was it the Bush years making everyone feel like, we're close to the apocalypse? And in some ways, like the Obama years were an antidote to that in the mainstream consciousness. Do you think that's what it was? Why people were gearing up for the apocalypse so hard?
Maybe. I mean, everyone went through a period of insanity after 9/11, and it's hard to. We don't necessarily have to be able to explain it rationally. Another piece of media that was big was Left 4 Dead, the video game, and Left 4 Dead 2, with zombies. A lot of zombie stuff, but I think right after that, Twilight came along, and we swept the zombies away and replaced them with shiny vampires, and we felt better for Obama.
Boys, yeah.
Obama, we had the shiny
True
vampires,
Blood,
and the True Blood, right?
It's the zombies. The fear of the zombies was the fear of the Christian right. The fear of the conformist Christian right coming to get you, and which is why it's significant that Walking Dead takes place in Atlanta, where there's this fear of this undifferentiated conforming force coming to eat you and take your humanity away. And that's sort of what it felt like in the Bush years. This evangelical cadre was moving us towards neoconservative oblivion by just getting us into these clash of civilizations wars, which only destroyed everything and didn't do anything.
Well, they kind of had a purpose. I've come around to the Iraq War. I'm actually pro-Iraq War now.
Okay. Why are you pro-Iraq War?
Well, it was part of the Imperial Project.
You're pro-imperialism now?
I'm now in favor of imperialism. Hey, we're going to have to live under the shadow of the hegemon, and if we'd have to live under the shadow of the hegemon, I'd rather it be the shadow of our hegemon.
You're talking about... So look, there's Sonic the Hegemon and Shadow the Hegemon. And we're gonna...
Yeah, well, there's Digimon.
And we're gonna live under the Dark One, man.
There's either Digimon...
This is just Dark Enlightenment.
Right. Yeah.
Stephen.
It's Digimon or Hegemon is basically my attitude. So.
Okay, right. Hegemon, the imperialist Digimon. What's the ultimate form is neoliberal mon. Or whatever. Mm-hmm. Some terrible fucking leftist meme involving neoliberal mod.
Oh, well, the neoliberals are part of this whole thing. They're like, Obama is part of it. Obama and Bush are flip sides of the same coin, because you need an Obama to come after a Bush, and then you need a Bush to come after an Obama. That's part of that is imperialism.
That was... It's that South Park episode, that 100th episode South Park. I'm a little bit country, I'm a little bit rock and roll. And everyone in the town, they resolve their differences upon realizing that America, you can do imperialism just as long as you have a bunch of pussy libs at home protesting against it, because it means you get to kill, but it means it looks like you care as well. So, the reaction to the neoconservative policies is just as important in maintaining it. Because if it looks like, they're bombing us, but the populace cares, maybe they're less likely to be reactionary against us. Maybe they're less likely to take arms against us.
Yeah, and when it's always 49-51, and so any country that might want to do something like externally to us, like say hack us or whatever, there's two things that sort of says to me, is that you don't want to do anything that would hurt the citizens because it's very close, and for them switching the other way and taking the boot off of your neck, but you do want to sort of try to sway them with misinformation. So now I guess I'm a Russiagate guy. I'm a pro-Iraq Russiagator. I am the modern Democratic Party, unironically. Ironically. Very ironically.
You've reasoned yourself back to full Kristen Cinema. You now have the politics of Kristen Cinema. I love Kristen
Cinema. I love her outfits.
Get the fit. Get the Kristen Cinema fit. Get the Kristen Cinema Ella Emhoff, fuck it.
Yeah.
Mr. F runway looks. Oh my god. Just walking down in a straight up like Lorax Thneed. Just going to vote no on a bill that allows orphans to survive for a day longer.
I really hope we do some kind of war authorization bill so that she can have a walk down the runway moment again.
Cuppa girl, put that bass in your what?
I mean, if she did it like a what is it called when the models walk down? Is it the catwalk? Yeah.
The catwalk, they go down the catwalk.
Is that a
do
sexist
their little turn
term?
on the catwalk.
Is that a sexist term?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It was originally called the pussy walk. It was originally called the gash walk.
Oh no! Oh no! Moving on.
Change it to the catwalk.
Let's see. I had something briefly in my mind to bring up, but it's like flitting in and out of my ability to speak. Anyway, how are we going to solve this baby bust? My idea on Twitter was not liked by anyone, which is the numbering bureau, and that's where you number everyone. And if the number isn't high enough, you start putting the people in jail with the low numbers. So it's like incentivizing more numbers.
We got to revive JFK to get everyone horned up again. It's not about the baby bust. It's about how many babes you can bust in.
Yeah.
JFK, fuck machine. Oh yeah, I will fuck as many people as possible. Everyone will be Kennedys. Revive JFK. That's how we save America, really. We just have to revive JFK. We just have to do the DNA voodoo and come up with Frank and Kennedy.
Yeah, we have that guy. He's going to run for senator. He's probably going to run for president next.
What, red hair, wet mouth?
Yeah, yes. President red hair, wet mouth.
That guy sucks. His mouth is too wet. He needs a drier mouth like Kennedy's. He needs a dry, supple, Addison's riddled mouth like John F. Kennedy's.
He's going to run for something and lose again. He's probably... Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's so fucking unappealing. He's more unappealing than Elizabeth Warren. Like, Massachusetts just creates these politicians that nobody could possibly like, except for, I don't know, high-strung nerds, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Same with New York. New York is not creating good politicians.
Oh my god, the fucking New York mayoral race is such a fucking woof.
It's
every
really good.
Candidate is bad.
No, Yang is good. What are you talking about? Yang is funny. Yang doesn't know anything about what's going on. He's like, how do they even get rid of the garbage in this city?
It's just wandering around like Mr. Bean and causing trouble.
A piano falls right behind him, and he's walking down the street, and he turns around. How did that get there?
Yeah, he's having a baby's day out. He just walks through a construction site and like onto a girder that's going by, and all these problems are being caused behind him, like the Green Day walking contradiction video.
Yeah, he's reading he's like reading tweets on his iPhone, and he's walking through the construction zone and like on an I-beam that starts raising up while he's walking on it, and
yes, exactly,
gets involved in all kinds of, but he's just not noticing. I love that trope.
Yeah, and the powerhouse music is dun 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 dun, and then he makes his way through a foundry and like narrowly avoids like a boiling pot of lead going over his head.
Yeah, like a big steel beam swings by. You think it's going to clip him, but then a trapdoor opens and he falls down into the basement. Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
And then he accidentally, defiles DMX's grave or something like that.
Oh, no. Oh. Why would he defile DMX's grave?
Accidentally. He just walks into it and, he had been soaked, through inattention, he had been soaked in female moose urine. And so he attracts a large moose. And it stomps all over and shits all over DMX's grave.
You don't think it's a plot to disrupt the monster truck gangsta rap unity that we saw following DMX's death?
That was beautiful. I say I love the DMX funeral, the best of humanity. That's how I would like to go out, just creating a huge traffic jam at the Barclays Center.
Okay. Well, you could go out that way like immediately. If you want.
You're right. I could immediately create a huge traffic jam at the Barclays Center. Just get in the middle of the road and start jacking off until someone hits me with their DMX truck.
That's an interesting way to try to kill yourself. To jack off on the freeway.
Jacking off on the freeway, yeah. That's a creative one.
That's a fun one to wait until you're a dad so that your kid has to explain it.
Yeah, exactly. There's some things that you can only do when you're a dad,
Die in an embarrassing way.
Yeah, in an especially embarrassing way to scar your kid.
Yeah.
Well, my dad died jacking off on the freeway, which is why I can't drive. That's why that's why I can only drive on local roads.
Yeah, and then your ghost will come back and haunt the freeway. And you'll make other people have crashing into the side rails. I saw a man jacking off. That was a ghost, sir.
Oh, the story of old Willie died jacking off on the freeway. And legend has it that if you die from watching him jacking off, you're going to be jacking off in the afterlife too for all eternity. Have you ever known what it's like to jack off and never come? Well, old Willie knows.
Imagine telling the prisoners in Abu Ghraib that they're like, man, this isn't even real. This is a simulation, man. They're like, well, let me out then.
Don't worry, guys. This will all be over very soon. I, Elon Musk, are talking to the Abu Ghraib prisoners. It's fine. It's all part of the plan of the AI.
Well, Don't
have to worry.
I should have said I meant Guantanamo because they've been in there longer. Abu Ghraib's closed, but Guantanamo is still open, I'm pretty sure.
Still open.
Jeez. Yeah. And we still, even after that, there's a New Yorker article about it that made me cry at one point. I probably said something on the show because I think it came out during the beginning of the show last year. But they really fucking mistreated those Guantanamo people, so that sucks.
Yeah, the American government, big pricks. Oh, they're the
Such
pricks.
Biggest pricks in the world.
They're the pricks. The big prick watch. The pricks. The pricks are the Guantanamo prisoners. Hey, you thought these Al Qaeda guys were pricks? Nah, these Guantanamo prison guards. They'll shock you pricks. They'll stick you pricks.
Yeah,
they'll put a little wooden dowel in your pricks, and you'll get splinters on the inside of your urethra.
You got a Casio watch, you and every other prick in here. You all got Casio watches. That's how we know who's a prick, and who's not a prick. You got a Casio watch, your prick's on the way to Guantanamo.
Yes, exactly. Casio watches, big prick move, big prick energy. We're the pricks. We know pricks.
Oh, yeah, we know pricks. That's why you're here.
We know pricks. Listen, you wouldn't be coming to any other show You want to show 4 pricks by pricks, identifying pricks, knowing good prick technique, which we call pricknique. It's very popular with the ladies, because ladies love pricks.
Whoa. Well, that was really,
We're having fun at the expense of Italian Americans.
And people in Guantanamo Bay. It's very depressing. Mm-hmm. The world's been depressing lately, but I've kept it all together.
You've kept it free? I mean, there's been absurd reactions to depressing things, of course. For weeks, we've been mired in the Israel-Palestine conflict.
Right.
Well, we free Palestine, as always.
Well,
consistent position on the show.
Let's not participate in a online pogrom any
That's
longer.
it, of course.
Okay, because what has been happening is akin to a little thing called Crystal Knocked, but this time online.
Yeah.
And this time with words. And this time, Seth Rogen did it, too. So, Alex, why don't you explain what happened briefly? Because I don't think everyone knows.
Briefly, there's this very noxious music journalist, which is her usual beat. Her name is Eve Barlow.
Hasn't tweeted about music in years.
No, only tweets about Israel, but for some reason is like considered a music journalist. And she's a Scottish Jewish Zionist named Eve Barlow. And so she went hard for Israel these past couple of weeks, and the internet machine did a thing on Twitter where thousands upon thousands of people just kept calling her Eve Fartlow. Mm-hmm. And it became one of those things where it was very cute that everyone's participating in this juvenile thing. And it seemed to really affect these people in only the way that something as stupid as just replacing a syllable of someone's name with fart can do. In the same like schoolyard thing where it's like Fartlow, you just keep repeating it and the person says, "No, I'm not," and they keep trying to own you by like saying, "Oh, this is very clever, so mature," but you just keep going Eve Fartlow, and it's like almost a magic word to turn them into some sort of living fart. And so I mean, and it's okay to do this because Eve Barlow, she, does the usual, like, mealy mouth, I'm Palestinians, what's going on in Palestine is horrible, but Israel has a right to self-determination. Self-determination, of course, necessitating the murder of children. So it's okay to call her Fartlow as many times. And also, it's very mild if you get upset by that,
that's a
which
mild,
she clearly does.
That's a mild tease. And if you become the thing to know is if you become the center of the internet's hate for a day, you gotta not write a whole article about it because that will make it worse. That's guaranteed.
She wrote a whole article about it.
Guaranteed to make it worse. Like what you should do is be like, haha, guys, and then tweet about something else, and then cleanse your timeline. You just like start retweeting puppies and shit. Done. Mm-hmm. It's over in a day. She needs a PR person. She needs someone handling her soch. I want to hire someone to handle my soch. Maybe you can handle my soch. Post as me for a day, and I'll pay you $25.
Yeah, there you go. It's like being John Malkovich.
Yeah. Well, that's
being Eve Barlow. That would be terrible. Oh my god.
There's a great Neil Stephenson book where all the rich people. This is what the rich people have done. They hire people to handle their online stuff, and like that's how everyone is employed in the like lower middle to poor classes in this Neil Stephenson universe, which is what we're headed for, because these people like Eve Barlow with 30,000 followers or whatever gonna have to hire someone to handle the heat from now on, or else she's not gonna be able to be on social media, because I'm pretty sure people are gonna call her Fartlow for the rest of her life.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the joke's already lost steam. But, well, she's going to be called Fartlow for the rest of her life, but, the initial flare-up of attention on Palestine has already died down somewhat because of, like, it's obviously still very bad, but the large proportion of the killing has ended.
And the news came out today that looks like Netanyahu may actually be ousted.
He's gone.
Well,
but in favor of a coalition government with Bennett, who is just as much, if not worse, a psychopath, and then the other guy.
It hasn't happened yet, so
yeah,
it's not yet. But so I would always hope there's always a chance Netanyahu can pull something crazy, and I think he might. He's been amazing at pulling it out somehow. His pullout game is perfect.
He's got a great pullout game. He always comes on the chest. Always comes on the face.
That's my favorite prick in the whole world.
The pullout game jokes?
No, Netanyahu. Is
Netanyahu?
Yeah, he's my favorite prick.
Oh, yeah, definite prick, big prick, gigantic prick. Yeah, American prick, a way that only a prick from the suburbs of Philadelphia can be, you know.
He's from Philly.
That's where pricks are made.
Uh-huh.
The King of Prussia Mall, that's where pricks go. Pricks go to Eagles games and hone their prick skills. They sharpen their prick swords on the whetstones, the prick whetstones of pricks past from Philadelphia, like Rocky and Ween. Ween aren't pricks. They're the opposite of pricks. Maybe, actually, I don't know. They might be pricks.
Yeah, maybe is the drummer a prick? Maybe.
Cloud Coleman? No, Cloud Coleman seems nice.
Well,
they seem nice. They seem like nice guys.
I just don't know. I don't know the drummer for Ween. I thought maybe he might be one, but yeah. So
Cloud Coleman seems okay.
Israel's going to be led by a co-alliance of 8 small parties. That's going to be weird.
That's going to be just like S Club 7, except it's S Club 8. There ain't no party like a Knesset party.
Mm. I thought, is Knesset another word for dumpling? Because it's got lots of different ingredients.
No, the Knesset is the parliament.
Like, what's the
name for the parliament?
What's the Kerplach? What's that?
The Kreplach.
Oh, the Kreplach. Is that a government?
Kreplach.
Government or dumpling?
That is a type of dumpling.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, the Israeli parliament's called the Kreplach.
Yeah.
Yes. We should make a Yiddish Israel in the middle of Austria, like an actual cool country. Because Yiddish is awesome. Hebrew is whatever, but Yiddish is where all the cool shit comes from. All the fun, like all the fun stuff.
All the fiddler stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's a terrible remake of Fiddler on the Roof is Hitler on the Roof.
Oh, I was thinking...
Get off there, Hitler!
I was thinking it's like a Batman. He's a Batman villain, the Fiddler on the Roof.
The Fiddler on the Roof?
Fiddler! Where is Fiddler? Fiddler! I'm gonna beat down your Jew ass, Fiddler!
Anti-Semitic Batman.
Anti-Semitic Fiddler. Batman the Joker's stolen 2 women from the Gotham mortuary.
I bet he's a fucking Jew.
Whoa! Where is this coming from, Bruce?
Jews run everything.
That they should have that in what was that Philip Roth book that got televised to be like the alternate history of America? If we elect...
not Philip Roth. You're thinking of Philip K. Dick.
No, I'm not.
Man in the High Castle.
I'm not thinking of Man in the High Castle.
What is Philip Roth? When did he do
Roth wrote an alternate history of like a Jewish family in the 40s if Charles Lindbergh had won. And Charles Lindbergh starts... It was televised and put on. It was a pretty good show.
People like it.
You might like it. I don't know. It's funny. I mean...
Okay.
It's like scary because it shows how Americans are racist. But...
No.
I mean, there were a lot of Americans of German descent that lived in America, but that is you can't say that just because Americans of German descent lived here that they would have automatically sided with Nazi Germany.
Absolutely, they would have. That's why it was necessary to put the Japanese people in the internment camps.
Yeah,
Follow along.
Yeah.
This is the logic of America.
It's weird. I mean.
They never put German Americans in POW camps,
they did a little.
Did they?
Yeah, they did sort of. I think they put German and Italians. And Canada. Justin Trudeau just apologized to Italians for interning the Italians.
Yeah, that's the group in Canada that needs that needs addressing.
We're going to have a national day of mourning for the 5 Italian families that we interned in 1945. They were also members of the mafia that we were allowing to
That's Italian American discrimination. That's Italian Canadian discrimination. You don't want to do. This is how Italians sound in Canada, eh? Oh, would you like to get some mozzarella? Would you like to get some gabagool? It's good here in Canada.
Where does the Italian Canadian community live mostly in Canada?
Well, they're Woodbridge in Toronto, a big suburb that is filled with exclusively Italian people, is called Woodbridge. But
now,
tons of.
I was just gonna say Italian Americans, they tend to overcook the pasta because they're not aware the pasta needs to be cooked al dente. It's not broken through.
You're Italian-splaining?
Right, exactly.
To our Italian fans. Listen, we're the big pricks here. We're doing Italian voices. We're doing Italian-American voices. We're explaining your pasta to you. We're the pricks.
Let me explain to you what al dente means. Okay, it means to the tooth. And you need to have a little bit of chew, a little bit of bite on your pasta, or else it's no good. Why is it every time I go to an Italian restaurant, the pasta's cooked half to death?
Hey, listen, Giuseppe. Giuseppe, let me talk down to you for a second. Listen, your pasta, it's not to the tooth. You know why you got no teeth? It's because you knocked them all out so that you could suck dick better, Giuseppe. Oh, I'm a prick. I'm a huge prick. Nah, I didn't mean that, but I seriously did. You fucking suck dick. You're a queer. I don't like you.
No Italians at Pride this year in a giant, huge
Pride,
scandal. Breaking news.
I like the idea of all the Italian gay people were being too homophobic. They were just, oh, look at all these fanooks.
Yeah. Well, no Italians at Pride.
Hey, you want to suck our dicks? We're fellow fanooks.
That is no cops at Pride in New York. That's what you're saying is no Italians.
No Italians. No. Yeah, every cop in New York is an Italian guy.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Well, it's not true. They're actually pretty diverse in the NYPD.
You're right. That's what Brooklyn Nine-Nine is all about.
Yeah, but the higher ups are not.
No, they're all Italian.
No, I don't know if they're Italian or not.
No, they're probably all wasps.
I'm colorblind.
Who knows?
I'm colorblind when it comes to Italians. Like when I see an Italian guy, I just see a white guy, but that's just because I'm colorblind.
All Italians look white to me.
Yeah.
What can I say? Hey,
I'm not racist, so I don't see Italian.
I'm not racist. I don't see Czech. I don't see Uzbekistani.
You might be Polish, but you look white to me, so it's all good, brother. Right?
Oh, you call that olive skinned? I call it whites. Okay.
This is how
some white ass olives you have here.
This
my
is
friend.
actually how they did white supremacy, which this was how they did it. But they did it with pamphlets instead of podcasts.
They just sat in the room being pricks. With pricks with pamphlets, you know. It is that arbitrary, though. That's what's funny about it. I mean, it's not what's funny about it. It's what's horrifying about it. It's that it's just a distinction somebody makes because out of, I don't know what causes it, like an instinct or like a desire or an understanding that you can get a person to go against a certain group based on this very superficial idea. I guess it's a combination of all of those things. But yeah, just the sheer arbitrariness of how we divide up groups of people and then oppress them based on that. It gives one pause, you know. It makes one feel like not being a prick occasionally. But then you realize, you know, it's better to be a prick.
I can't be a prick IRL because I'm too much of a little pussy guy.
Yeah, I'm a little pussy guy too. It's no good to be a prick IRL. You should be nice IRL.
I want to. I really want to. I go out and I'm like, I am gonna get into a shouting match with somebody at the store right now.
I'm gonna be a real fucking prick.
And when
someone's not wearing their fucking mask, I'm gonna prick out to them.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna prick it out so much.
When I get to the store, the person with a mask like goes in front of me, and I'm like, "Oh, excuse me. Do you know where the basil is?"
Excuse me, I'm having a little trouble locating the cardamom. Can you locate my shopping cart?
I accidentally bought 2 things of cardamom. There's nothing that needs cardamom. I have had a cardamom surplus for years, and I still, like, you put, every recipe calls for, like, 1 teeny little pinch of cardamom, and it's like, if you're making rice pudding, that's the only thing. So what do I do?
Pumpkin spice lattes.
I guess. If you have any ideas of what to do with cardamom, you can email houseofdecline@gmail.com and let me know.
You clearly don't cook a lot of Indian food. You clearly don't make a lot of garam masala
No, I don't.
for yourself.
It's true. I do not make Indian food. I can never. This is my problem with Indian food. I can never.
Okay.
I always have coconut milk left over. And I don't want to make Indian food 2 nights in a row because I always make a lot. So it's already 2 nights in a row. I'd have to be eating it for 2 weeks if I was going to use an entire can of coconut milk. And it doesn't last long enough for me to... I guess I could, if I really wanted to eat it regularly, but it's like a once-a-month thing. So I just never do it. I just order out. Yeah. Yeah.
What, have you made Indian food for yourself at any point?
Oh yeah, I've done it before. I've made curries with coconut milk, but then I always like either put too much coconut milk in or have it left over and never use it, and I feel bad about wasting.
This is really just a coconut milk problem. You're having a problem with your coconut milk rationing.
Exactly.
Which is why you choose to not indulge in the delicacies of the finest subcontinent.
Well, no, I'll get takeout. I get takeout about once a month from the Indian place. And when they forget to add my rice pudding, I don't even complain because they're donating it to some of the profit to India during coronavirus times. So, you know, I didn't even say anything. It's like it's like I'm going to heaven now because I ordered a rice pudding. It was not included. I did not say a word. I was like, well, I guess they didn't feel like I needed that rice pudding. Maybe they can send the extra $5 to India, which really needs it, because we are not giving them any vaccines.
Yeah, Modi messed up, and then we like to torture them, apparently, by hoarding IP.
Yeah, we got to give India more stuff, because we rely on them for so much. And I like India. So.
No.
India is one of the good ones. Pakistan, I don't know.
Let's rate the countries by tiers. Tier list of countries. Yeah. Go.
Okay, Croatia.
Angola.
Croatia 1.
A.
Croatia number 1. What do you say?
Croatia good.
Croatia
good. Highest prick to man ratio. Prick is not man. Prick is different from man. Prick is better than man. Superior to man. Regular man cannot contend with prick, which is why in Croatia you have high prick to man ratio. It's how we got Game of Thrones. Big prick energy.
My favorite country over there is actually Estonia.
That's not even in the same area.
Over there. Over there.
Over there.
Yeah. Across the pond, you know.
Yeah, why do you like Estonia so much?
Well, they have to be militantly anti-Russian, and I'm a big Russiagator now. So, and they're like completely techified. Everyone there is in the cyber army, and they're all like hackers, and they all are hacking Russia constantly. So it's a really fun place to be a young adult. I met a young Estonian person at a wedding a while ago, and they were describing their life to me, and it was fascinating because they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm in the army and I hack Russia."
Yeah, that is all we do in Estonia. Landscape is grey and swamp-like, so we have to get in the digital world.
There's
and
3 hours of light a day.
Yeah, Ready Player One, but in Estonia. This is Ready Player Roger, and we are here in Estonia, and we're going out into virtual Murmansk, and we're gonna take down some gopniks. All right, here we go. I could be an anime boy, but only Estonian anime boy, so he has very small eyes, actually. We did not get it right, no. These Estonian guys aren't pricks, though. We like them.
Yeah, I'm pro Estonia. I like the Baltics.
Yeah, we're big Estonia fans.
I mean,
here.
Croatia's not that far from the Baltics.
Croatia, there's the Balkans and the Baltics, which I always mix up.
The Baltics are up by the Baltic Sea.
Yeah.
I don't think...
the Baltics, because they're cool. Like Balto, the wolf. And the Balkans, they're like fiery, like the planet Vulcan from Star Trek. These are my mnemonic devices.
I guess, yeah, no.
My moronic
Croatia
mnemonic
is far.
devices.
Never mind. Croatia is very far. I'm sorry.
It's pretty far.
It's like all the way. That's like the difference. It's like the difference between Maine and California. Maybe,
really? It's that far?
It's maybe,
they can't
yeah,
be that
yeah,
far.
yeah. It might even be more.
Okay.
It's very far.
That's very far.
Croatia's closer.
That's not that far.
Croatia is like very close to Italy, and Estonia is very close to Russia, Finland.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's our geography lesson.
Learn your European country. We're very Eurocentric here. We only care about Europe. Or Europa, as they call it.
Who calls it?
Do you have any desire to get back to, the continents of our homeland?
It's like a weird German guy. It's like delicately like talking about our homeland.
Yeah, the homeland, by which I mean Israel. German guys, we find we have a lot of common with Israelis. We like their funky beats. We like their down-tempo idea.
Yeah. Oh, it's our friend Dorfmeister.
Yeah. It's good old Dorfmeister. Had lots of good time in Israel. Of course, we don't defend the genocides. We don't like the genocides, but they make very good beats. What can we say? We respect the Palestinians. Unfortunately, do not have the structure to play as many beats as Israel. They don't have Abletons, which is why we are having our new charity, Abletons for Palestinians, so that they can make beats.
Wow. So you're going to provide Ableton for free to Palestine. That's very kind.
Well, not for free, but for a discounted. It's a very expensive software, you see.
Okay.
It's a discounted price. They still have to pay nominal fee of $250.
Maybe like a 6-day free trial or something.
People took advantage of that too much, so we had to let it go.
Okay. No 6-day free trial. Okay.
No 6-day free trial anymore. People just kept making different emails,
new accounts,
and we couldn't have it anymore.
That's too bad. That's a shame. What about computers? Or is this just like license for software?
No, just like license for software. We just give them out on floppy disks because they don't have a lot of technology. So we have to convert the Ableton. We have to compress it until it's unusable and put it on a floppy disk for the computers that they have.
Yeah,
there.
floppy disks only hold like 2.5 megabytes, so you probably need like
it's 50. Spread out over 97 floppy disks.
Okay. That's useful. They can throw, and now there's like the fourth intifada of Palestinians throwing floppy disks at the Israelis.
Yes, they're throwing a lot of floppy disks at the Israelis. The Israelis are responding with white phosphorus, lots and lots of white. We have made the situation much worse by distributing the floppy disks. Now they have become a symbol of the Palestinian uprising, and but it's resulting in a lot of death. They criticize Hamas, but before you criticize Hamas, criticize Dorfmeister.
That's very humble.
Criticize me.
Yeah.
I ruined it for everyone.
Well, I do know that the Germans, West Germans, were selling weapons to, I believe, Iraq. I learned that from
really?
From Blowback Pod, the pod of two guys
cool.
reading the Wikipedia page.
They do a little more than that.
Oh, right. They add music and references to movies everyone's seen a million times.
Like Goodfellas. I love Scorsese. He's good.
Everything needs some criticism. Okay, it's constructive. My criticism
is constructive.
You're not allowed to criticize this show, but if you want to, you can email us at houseofdecline@gmail.com.
Email us. We're starved for engagement. Please send us your angry letters.
Yeah, we'll read
Please
it.
tell us we have little dicks.
We'll read it on the show, whatever you email, and we will not edit it at all to make it more flattering.
No. You can go as hard as you want. You can talk about how we're racist and we're sexist and we're juvenile
And we're pricks.
and we're homophobic and we're pricks. We talk about how big fucking pricks we are. Yeah. But we already came out on top of that. I feel like the theme of this episode has been justifying our prickishness.
I think I already know the title to this one.
I know it. Oh, I know it. Oh, I know it. It's brewing in my head. Oh, we got it. And it's it's a really prick thing to do, talking about the inside baseball of the podcast on the podcast. Yeah. That's what pricks do.
Yeah.
No one fucking cares about the podcast production technique. It's just boring.
Death penalty.
You're listening to this to pretend we're your friends. Guess what? Your friends are pricks. Fuck you. You're a prick too if you're listening to this. That's what you get. Oh man, who would you say is like your number one in your prick Hall of Fame?
Number one in the prick Hall of Fame.
Like huge prick. Like you could go with someone like Alan Dulles, or like Lyndon Johnson is a good example because he had a literal huge prick.
It's Shia LaBeouf. It's my
Shia LaBeouf, good choice. Yeah. Huge prick. What makes you say Shia LaBeouf over other?
He is insane in a way that you don't see a prick being, but he's got that prick energy, and then he's also insane. He's got like this this domestic abuse case against him that is horrible. And before that,
seems pretty credible.
He's kind of like a psycho boy prick,
Yeah.
He's like Jared Leto's Joker, kind of. Like he could become. that's before Jared Leto's Joker. He was Shia LaBeouf, basically.
Yeah. What do you think defines a prick? Like a prick, I see as somebody with a lot of maybe stubbornness, headstrong energy. Usually I don't think of women as pricks. Usually when you call someone a prick, you call them men. Oh, what a fucking prick that guy was. Have you ever called a woman a prick?
No, I have not actually. Have you?
No, I've never called her. It doesn't seem like an appropriate thing to call a woman.
Yeah, that's gallant. How gallant of you.
Yeah,
I'm going to put that on your. On my
I'm a
resume.
white knighting right now. Yeah. I don't call women pricks.
On my resume, I never called a woman a prick before, and I don't think I will.
No. See, that's not. It's a prick move to not call a woman a prick. Because pricks have a code of honor, you see. Oh, you thought we didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, you thought it was all just pricks and games.
This is Boston
Guess
guy.
What? No, it's not.
Boston guy at a job interview. It's like, what do you think your greatest quality is? I never called a woman a prick.
Frickin'. Yeah, so what it conjures in my mind, the word prick is the image of a pointy penis. Mm-hmm. Really, that's it. A penis that comes to a sharp point.
A very upright.
Yeah. And so I feel like Shia LaBeouf is a good example of that because he very much feels like he has a penis which comes to a sharp point, a pencil sharpened point.
Yeah, I think his pencil got over sharpened by the industry. As often happens with child actors, the man needs some help, and I don't think he's gonna get it. Kind of the same story with Bam. Bam. Sorry,
Bam.
Yeah, it's Bam, not Bam.
Bam doesn't want help though. That is the stubborn nature of the prick. Does Bam strike you as a prick though? He doesn't strike me as a prick. No. He's too sad to be a prick. Mm-hmm. Pricks aren't sad. Pricks are angry.
Yeah, Knoxville's more of the prick on that show.
Yeah, well, Knoxville's sort of like joyful and sanguine. Who's like a really angry
That's
guy.
That's his interview personality. I don't think none of us have experienced the real terror of
the real Knoxville.
Yeah, real Knoxville.
No, we Spike Jones is the prick.
Okay.
It's Spike Jones. He's the fucking prick. I'll fucking email your fucking sex photos to your mom. Do you want that? You want that shit? I'm Spike Jones. I'll fucking do mumble-tea peg with your fucking asshole, you bitch. I'm Spike fucking Jones.
Wow, he sounds like a huge prick.
Yeah, he's a huge prick. We've already established.
So, are you going to go see Cruella?
She's a prick. I just called a woman a prick.
Oh,
terrible.
You just
Terrible.
You lost the prick game. I don't think I'm going to see Cruella. I read online that it's not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The clip that I've seen going around is actually, it turns out Cruella's villain origin story is Dalmatians actually do kill her mother.
Yeah. Well, that's why Diego started barking when I mentioned Cruella.
Yeah. Yeah, Cruella de Vil. Cruella de Vil. If she doesn't scare you, nothing else will. I don't know, maybe it would have been good if, like, Cruella was, like, they just had a movie where it was, you know the movie Jean Dielman?
No.
It's a movie about a lady and who's looks to be an ordinary housewife but has a secret life as a sex worker, and it sort of spins out from there, but it's known for its length and its very methodical and slow and deliberate pace. And I like the idea of just like a Cruella movie just being like Jean Dielman, where you're in like Cruella's nicely appointed apartment and she's just, you know, doing things around the house, and then you just see in a very protracted scene with a very flat shot, she's just skinning a puppy. Very methodically. She's just, you know... It's not alive, it's dead.
That's horrible.
But she's skinning.
No.
Yeah.
Boo. Rated E.
That would be the Cruella movie that I would want.
Rated E for extreme.
That would be the one. Yes. That's not what the Cruella movie is. I've been seeing the shallow gays on Twitter give it a thumbs up. And I tend to like shallow gay taste. I like stuff like Enchanted and shit like that. Do I? No, not really.
I'll watch it on your TV.
I'll watch it on my TV.
That TV looks pitifully small. You need to upgrade. You need to get
I need a TV.
75-incher.
I need a big prick TV.
100-inch TV.
100-inch prick TV.
That would be cool. I want to get a TV wall, you know?
Yeah. I want to get like one of those, walls, but it's just like 1,000 individual CRT TVs.
Yeah.
Like they have in the background of Vegas magic shows.
It's so hot. It would be so hot.
Just you could hear the radiation going. That radiation hum from those old tube sets.
Yeah, doesn't Scarface have a TV set up kind of like that at the end?
He has a wall of TVs?
I think so. He's got some nice stuff.
Walls of TVs from pop culture I can remember is the Architect's Room in The Matrix. Mm-hmm. You know, remember when he's in, like Neo gets to the end of The Matrix and then he meets a post-left guy who's just like, you do not understand the proletarian subsumation of the superstructure of the unformation of the colon course of the copy system. And what you are is only a thought of an abstraction of a deliberate pro-enunciation of the falsification of your announcing bodies through the lens of the etc., etc., etc.
And Neo's reaction is like, I thought this was about spoons.
Yeah,
I'm gonna save my girlfriend. I guess this is just a pretense to say that I'm gonna save my girlfriend.
What you are saying is there is a spoon, but it doesn't matter that there is one?
What you are saying is that there are spoons, but it's the big and the little spoon. So I'm going to spoon Trinity.
I'm going to be the big spoon.
And it'll be hot.
That's funny.
No, Neo's the little spoon. He needs to. Trinity is definitely the sexually dominant one in that relationship.
Wait, they have a relationship?
Yeah, they fuck. You literally see them fucking in the second movie.
That was traumatizing to some of my classmates. I don't think there was a couple of my classmates in like 7th grade. I don't think they'd ever seen a sex scene.
They didn't expect the unrepentant eroticism of the Matrix Reloaded.
That was the Matrix Reloaded was some of my friends' first sex scene, which is very funny to think about. Because mine was 4 Weddings and a Funeral, and that's a good one, you know.
Oh, mine was Clockwork Orange.
Oh no. Oh no, it's not a good one.
But I saw Clockwork Orange way too young because I had watched a lot of Simpsons, and I had that guide, you know, the complete guide to our favorite family, where it goes through all the references in The Simpsons. And I was like 8 years old. I was like, oh, they keep referencing A Clockwork Orange a lot. I bet that's a really good movie if The Simpsons reference it so much. And so I was like, I got my grandma, who didn't know what it was, to rent it for me at the video store.
Oh, no.
And it wasn't traumatic, though, because I just didn't understand so much of what was going on. But I sat through the whole movie because I thought it was like, I was enraptured by it. Like, it was like, even at that young age, I understood, oh, this is a beautiful movie.
Okay.
But
well,
I did not understand. I was kept entertained by, like, the bright, synthy classical music and, you know, the saturated color palette, not fully taking in what I was witnessing.
Well, as a depraved 13-year-old, I bought that DVD. I bought that, and I also bought The Crow. And
that's great 13-year-old movies.
Those were my 2 favorite movies.
You sounded awesome. We could have been friends, bro.
Yeah, we would have been friends.
we'll be friends at high school.
I had a friend who was a cartoonist who drew cartoons of me, so
there you go.
And I kind of lost touch with him, but Whit, you're out there somewhere.
Email us at houseofdecline@gmail.com. We'll read anything you say on the show. Yeah, it's Alex DeLarge. Big prick. Do you like it? I love A Clockwork Orange. I still think it. I could watch it anytime. I'm a big Kubrick fan.
It's very funny.
Yeah, it is very funny. People are. I guess Kubrick is in like the dudes rock genre of like filmmakers, along with Scorsese and De Palma. You know, producers who are great, and you know, no one would doubt are great, but who tend to the problematic film bros tend to speak too highly of occasionally.
Yeah, it's easy to go viral by denigrating a Kubrick movie and having just from the outrage alone.
Yeah,
which is funny when people do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to like the film Twitter outrage that happened this week was someone talked shit about Seven Samurai, or they said, well, what was about it. It was because the point they were making was actually kind of salient. They just used the totally wrong movie to make that point. So their point was that watching Seven Samurai, and this is like the Rosetta Stone of every boring, inessential sequence that a filmmaker wants to put in their movie because they believe they're making capital C cinema, which is like. That is a problem. There are a lot of filmmakers who just leave shit in because they think there is some imagined depth to it. That's not like that. That's not a thing that doesn't happen. But Seven Samurai? Really? The movie where every frame is more beautiful than the last and you can't believe such perfection could be witnessed on screen? And that's like Kurosawa is generally... I don't think of him as like a film bro director, you know. He's so like universally appealing, and there's not like that same sort of like driving male energy to his shit. I mean, I guess there isn't like the performances of Toshiro Mifune, but you know, I don't see. I saw a lot of Scarface posters on people's walls in college, less Ran posters, you know, less Yojimbo posters, you know. That doesn't have the same. You know, the same type of connotation in our cultural canon. Like a movie that, I don't know, what's a movie that you think is like doesn't get away with its pretensions or excesses? Maybe like a Harmony Korine movie. I guess that's not. I like those. I
actually think Down by Law doesn't get away with it, in my opinion, anymore.
Yeah, actually, Jarmusch is actually a great example of, like, some guy who can use the idea of, like, the overlong or awkward take to as the idea of, making your film feel like it has some sort of import, but really it doesn't really add anything. It's just padding.
I like Jim Jarmusch though. I like him. So
yeah, I like him in general. But yeah, you could use but Jim Jarmusch films aren't very long either, which is why it's never such a huge obligation to watch a Jim Jarmusch film.
My problem with criticizing Seven Samurai is that it's kind of like criticizing a real classic piece that is. It's not like it was made today. If Seven Samurai was made today, it would not necessarily be thought of so highly. But he's not doing it within the context of there being a lot of narrative filmmaking in that style, and he also invented slow-mo. So
yeah. I mean, also, it still holds up today. It still is good. It's like, even if it wasn't made for the audiences today, I don't know how you can get bored at that movie. It's so dynamic and appealing, but I guess, different the other thing about this person is that they're a Marvel fan. They were evidence to be like, wow, another tweet from their history showed that they loved Avengers Endgame, and it was like, there has been no achievement in cinematic history like the culmination of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And people are like, that's your idea? That's a 3.5-hour movie that sucks and looks like shit. And you're comparing it. You think the Seven Samurai is like the source of all director indulgences?
Well, now we're going to have The Eternals, which did you watch the trailer for?
Yeah, looks like shit. Looks like total shit.
I couldn't make it through the whole trailer even. I had to turn off the trailer.
Yeah, looks so fucking boring. I feel like they aren't learning their lesson. Like, the thing about the Marvel so Marvel really kicked into high gear with their Phase 3 movies, right? Because they were all hits and they were all more or less critically beloved. Like the Guardians 2 and Thor Ragnarok and the first and Avengers Infinity War. Like, those 3 movies alone showed that, Marvel's they're doing something a little different now. They're doing something a little weirder, getting a little more experimental with their format.
This one is the thing that's happening though, that they're getting the Oscar-winning director to make an artsy one.
Yeah, but it looks like shit. It looks boring and shitty. And they've had Oscar-winning direct. Wait, I guess, did Kenneth Branagh ever win an Oscar?
Did he direct a Marvel movie?
Kenneth Branagh directed the original Thor, which looks like shit.
What?
Kenneth Branagh directed Thor. He directed the first Thor movie. You don't remember that?
I don't remember that at all. Isn't
Jon Favreau an Oscar winner? Didn't he win Best Screenplay?
Well, that's easy.
No. There's a lot of pedigreed talent on the Marvel movies. Did Ryan Coogler win an Oscar for anything before he directed Black Panther? Did he win an Oscar for Creed or anything? No, I guess he didn't.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's weird that people like Marvel movies, which seem so flat and boring and predictable, they take that over this very consumable piece of media, which they will advocate for the idea that its consumability means it's better, which I think frustrates some people. Also, apparently what precipitated this hate of the Seven Samurai from Marvel people was the fact that Zack Snyder mentioned that Seven Samurai was one of his favorite movies.
Of course.
And, say what you will about Zack Snyder, but his shit, even if it looks horrible, looks distinct. And he actually understands technical filmmaking and how to make an iconic frame and how to use visual language, I would say, in a much more sophisticated way than the fucking Russo brothers, whose shit looks like a big episode of Community. That's what it just ended up like. That's what Avengers Endgame looked it up to be. It's just that fucking paintball episode of Community, but on a grand scale.
I haven't seen either thing you're referring to, so I'm going to have to take your word for it.
Take my word for it. It's the movie prick. This is my persona, the movie prick.
I don't know.
And then the other fallout is that Movie Bob,
Yeah.
who should be called Movie Prick, then commented that using the word Marvel movies is like when racists use the word woke, when what they really want to say is the N-word. And people are like, whoa, Movie Bob!
Yeah, he's right. That's a slur. Marvel movie liker is a slur.
Yeah. You're bad if you're an MCU fan.
No, you're
a lame
Well,
wad.
that's what the bad people think,
Yeah.
right? I don't know.
But really, you're a proud patriot if you like the Marvel movies. You believe in the efficacy of the American film industry and the jingoistic, imperialistic message that our technocratic supermen should run the world, and that they're the only thing stopping us from annihilation constantly.
Well, if you think it's working, and it's changing the world and making the world better, then you probably would defend it in that way. Kind of the converse is how much the Capitol Police felt like it was their job to defend Congress. Just showing a total lack of of concern, which is very funny. That's how much the Capitol Police cared.
Well,
What?
there's a lot of 1-6 drama.
I know.
People are like,
I was trolling.
people are being very well. I'm trying to think it's hard to remember because I remember our initial impression of it was like, this doesn't seem that, people died, but for a coup there was a lot of milling about, Didn't seem like this is, because what you see in the centrist media now is they're talking about how 1-6, and Biden says this all the time, is that, this was the biggest attack on our democracy since yada yada. And by democracy, he means literally the biggest attack on an American federal building since, I don't know, Oklahoma, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I'm imagining one of the protesters there using the yada 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 to try to get out of the police's hair. So what were you doing on January 6th? Well, I went to D.C. and yada yada yada. Spent the night.
You yada yada 6?
Yeah.
I yada yada 6. I yada yada 1-6.
Exactly.
Jerry Seinfeld probably supports Israel.
Oh, yeah, of course he does. There's a lot of pictures of him doing military training with the IDF and looking at their guns and giving the thumbs up.
IDF fantasy camps. I want to settle here. The thing about settlements is they're always... What's the deal with Hamas?
Do you think the American culture of electing celebrities will result in a very funny Jewish celebrity becoming prime minister of Israel?
It will result in Quentin Tarantino becoming prime minister of Israel.
Is he Jewish?
No, but he lives in Israel, and he
What?
definitely he's an Israeli chaser.
What do you mean
He
Quentin
seems like-
Tarantino lives in Israel?
He lives in Israel.
What?
His primary place of residence is in Israel. That's an absolute fact.
What?
You can look it up.
I'm looking it up.
Look it up right now to confirm.
I'm looking it up. Why would he?
I got a home in Haifa. It's really nice. It's like Hollywood, except there's less Jews. We're pricks. We're pricks, baby. It's a real prick joke.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
But he's a big Gal Gadot fan.
I think he's probably got several houses.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a very wealthy man, I'm sure. But one of his houses is in Israel, where he grows his own olive wine.
Oh man, what a prick!
I'm sure he's a prick.
Yeah,
he does seem. Quentin Tarantino is like a prick, not an all-time prick. So your all-time prick was Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, who's yours?
I'm gonna try. I don't know who's my all-time prick. King Leopold of
Whoa.
Belgium.
Okay,
He's a big prick.
it's a serious prick.
Serious prick energy. So we got the two biggest pricks on earth, Shia LaBeouf and King Leopold of Belgium. Wow, it's come down. King Leopold. If you've never read about the atrocities of the Congo, the Congo Free Trade Company, is that what it was called? I don't. But Belgium's colonialism in the Congo. In a world of brutal colonialism, theirs was especially and uniquely and terrifyingly brutal. And I remember, like, it's also weird when you're Jewish and you're taught, like, the Holocaust was the worst thing in the world that ever happened. And you're basically taught that at Jewish day camp. You know, you're taught that every Passover. You're taught that, you know, all of our holidays are about how we almost got annihilated. You're taught that at Purim. So you're also reminded about the Holocaust, too, and your relatives talk about that. But then you gain perspective, you know, later. You read about, oh, no, they've treated Africans way worse than the Jews. Like, we get off easy compared to these guys. Yeah. These guys, like, oh, my God, just way millions and millions of more bodies over the course of it. And no, like, you know, Jews, through, like, dumb usury laws in the medieval times, eventually got, like, a foothold in the feudalistic and eventually capitalist societies of wealth. Africans got no such any of that. So, which is, you know, why eventually, if you just, you know, look at stuff like Belgium in the Congo, or like, what's an example, or even like the Stalinist purges or something like that, you sort of gain a perspective. Oh, the Holocaust was not unique, and thus we can't justify our position as being sort of these unique takers on of tragedy and blight, which is what we use to justify our cosmic revenge that we carry out with Israel.
Okay. Cosmic revenge sounds like that sounds like a plot.
Well, no, that's not. It's not. But it's basically what
are you guys planning?
A lot of a lot of Jewish people I know feel is that we've been shit on for literally thousands of years. Now it's our turn. It's our turn to do the shitting.
What does that mean?
It's like that. It's like the Jennifer Lopez movie. Enough. What? Her husband was a big prick. Who's the world?
Now we're
going to get buff and beat up our husband.
What does "now it's our time to do the shitting" mean?
Now it's our time to do the shitting. Come on.
Okay, I'm a little worried. Okay, that's all I'm saying. It's just worrisome.
We're going to be big pricks. Israel, the biggest pricks of all.
Oh, okay.
Big prick energy. This episode of The Pricks, sponsored by Israel, sponsored by SodaStream.
Soda.
Soda.
Yeah. Well, vote for Bibi Netanyahu in the New York mayoral race.
Right in, Bibi.
Yeah.
He'll invade New Jersey. He'll start just building settlements in New Jersey and claiming it for New York.
Yeah, and then a bunch of New Jersey pricks will be sending rockets to Manhattan.
I'd be raining down white phosphorus on New Jersey children. Mm-hmm. Oh, and I'm sad now. It's not that. Took that too far.
Boo.
Sad. We're having
sad time. Sad. The last 5 minutes will be sad.
Times. Last 5 minutes will be sad. That's what we pricks are going to give you. So you hear about those 215 dead indigenous children that were found underneath a residential school in Kamloops?
Yep, sure did hear about it. That sucks. That's like, it's kind of, probably Americans don't realize that the Canadian shit was happening with indigenous people up until the 90s, right? Maybe even like, and I mean like the explicit stuff. I'm sure a lot of stuff.
Literally the last residential school. Residential schools being associated with the idea of white guys coming away to steal you in the night like the fucking boogeymen. Like RCMP guys taking you away from your parents as you're shrieking and crying for your mother, and then putting you in a school where you're taught that your language is terrible and that you must wash the filth of your red skin away, and, you know, we're civilizing the savage out of you and having that done to you. And then just, you know, straight up killing. Canada, big pricks.
Yep.
We're big pricks. And we...
Americans feel superior because they're like, oh, we did all of that stuff ages ago. That's like the only thing Americans can really say. It's like, well, not in my memory, but...
Yeah, we have more social distance from the atrocities that we did to indigenous people, even though they still... I don't know how... I think actually Canada probably, if you were to judge like proportionate suffering, I think we're probably treat our indigenous people worse than America. No, that can't be true.
The Spaniards are the real problem.
The Spaniards.
It was really the Spaniards.
In the end, the Spaniards are the original pricks.
Biggest pricks.